Question: what do you do if there's this great game you like that hasn't been converted to your computer? The obvious answer is that you convert it yourself. This is a look at the Amiga version of a Popeye, which of course I've already covered on the channel, the Commodore 64 version of it. But what makes this special is that it is converted by a group of non-professionals based on request by users. And as such, it's actually not half bad. The video will start with a tune that's just short of 4 minutes long that will set the mood for the conversion.
Wow.
Welcome to Popeye. This is the Amiga converted version of the Commodore 64 game by the same name, which of course was a conversion from an arcade. The gameplay is completely and utterly identical to the Commodore 64 version. In the first level you will have to pick up hearts, in the second level you will have to pick up musical notes, and the third level you will have to pick up help calls, and then Bignonia added a fourth level just to give people a bit extra. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the fourth level, but you'll get to see it eventually. The challenges are exactly the same as in the Commodore 64 version. You have brutes running around trying to get in your way. You have witches that will spawn from time to time throwing bottles at you. And of course the hearts, notes, or help callouts keep falling down, and if they ever hit the water, you will lose a life. If you look at the slightly updated Amiga graphics for this game, I would say that by and large I am not entirely unhappy with it. The Commodore 64's graphic was not exactly the most spectacular graphic ever made for that computer, but it was close enough to the arcade to be recognizable, and having the chance to play any half-decent arcade port, of course, would always be appreciated, and the Commodore 64 version is definitely not bad in that regard. Since this version is essentially a frame-by-frame reproduction of the Commodore 64 game, the two games are going to be very, very similar, but not entirely similar. There's a few differences with the Amiga version which I do find not entirely welcome. There are certain ladders that Brutus in the Commodore 64 version cannot make use of, whereas in the Amiga version he can make use of everything. And of course when you hit the spinach in order to go the Super Popeye mode, both in the arcade and the Commodore 64 version, Popeye turns green and the music goes bonkers to indicate that you are now capable of smacking Brutus about. But in this adaptation, Popeye spends valuable time flexing his muscles, which is a cute little thing, but because of course you have limited time running after Brutus in order to smack him while you are in spinach mode, you can actually lose out on being able to hit him because of the fact that you are burning part of the time doing nothing. It's a nice touch, but from a raw gameplay mechanic thing, it is not necessarily very helpful. The slight updates made to the graphics are okay, it's nothing spectacular, it's nice, but that's about it. The music and sound effects has more or less been reproduced 100% faithfully, which is something that I'm very, very happy about, because again, not necessarily epic in any way, shape or form, but it is nice that you can recognize the original game in more than just in gameplay. The point of this video is to showcase what can be done with a bit of passion. This was a group of people who decided they wanted to make a version of a game that had not been professionally converted to the Amiga, and then they checked if there was any interest in it, and the interest was quite overwhelming, all things aside, and so they went and did it because they wanted to, not because there was some fat paycheck waiting around the corner or anything. It was just a pure passion project even. Same thing but different. And all things considered, this conversion is actually on par, and in some cases better than many professional conversions of other games. And that has to be applauded. I would assume that is still the case today, but back then there was an awful lot of so-called aspiring amateurs, which were just as skilled as so-called professional programmers, graphical artists, designers, musicians, and whatever else title you may or may not have. But of course they didn't have large software houses backing them, so they didn't get their products seen by as many people. But they were definitely out there, and in the case of this game, I can only say well done for a very, very accurate and enjoyable conversion. I still prefer the Commodore 64 version, but this is not bad at all. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye.